As levels of hothouse gases achieve a new recording, concerns are increasing on the part of China in world heating. For years, the growth in the quantity of China charcoal-fired force stations has been criticized. Now ecological groups say China is as well supporting many decades of charcoal projects far for its national borders. Charcoal is the largest injuring of the fossil embers since of the number of carbon sequestration dioxide it releases while it's burnt. Recent year, the focus of carbon sequestration dioxide in the ambience achieved its highest standard for the history 3 to 5 millionth year, onto the newest study by the UN's weather agent, the Planet Weather Organization, WMO. And recent monthly the UN's Environment Scientific Pane told how charcoal must be gradual out by 2050 if the planet is to include any opportunity of restrictive the growth in temperature. The China-supported charcoal projects are by way or plan as far afield as Southward America, Africa, Southwest Asia and the Balkans. Contracts and funding for these means are frequently not completely translucent, but campaigning groups consisting Bankwatch include tested to hold path. Onto MS Ciota, efforts to gear the filthy air of China cities include led lot force companies to range their ambitions for charcoal-fired force stations in China himself and to goal their technique and labor across the sea instead of. By possessing China put in above 60 countries on the waste and way lead, it's immortalizing a resource of contamination how has been shown to be detrimental, not fair to the environment but as well to economies, she told. In Serbia, one of the nation's greatest charcoal-fired force stations is Creature, advanced in the assist of a lending of a China banking and in the job Creature, led by one of China's greatest building companies. And times driving east of the Equity Belgrade, in the charcoal-rich Danube Vale, building has already begun at the website, named as Kostolak B3. And current force plant towers above the hilly scenery, a stable flow of contamination tortuous of a large chimney, and conveyor belts ferry boat charcoal of a neighboring outdoor cast pit at Dremno. The force plant is run by the domestic Serb power business, EPS, that provides on 70% of the nation's force by flaming charcoal, the otherwise comes of hydroelectric schemes. Currently, by a $7.15 meter, £5.60 meter, agreement coordinated by the government and China CEO Xi Jinping, an additional block is Creature added, that will give 350 megawatt of further power in the newest excellent critical technique. While we trip, we capture a short glimmer of a team of China workers tiring difficult hats on their way of the building website to a extensive set of lodging blocks. By following year, several 1,500 China personnel will be there. Security signs and note boards are spelled in Serb and China. Machinery and navigation glass conduct China tag. I ask the EPS formal fleeing the draft, Zeljko Lazovic, which he feels on such a big and essential enterprise Creature in the hands of China engineering personnel and workers. In the following few months a lot of China will go there and there will be a big problem, he says. In China workers and Serb workers, at the start we had several culture problems but we include surmount them and down there is now really nice collaboration. While requested on the ecological price of the new draft, Mr. Lazovic insisted it would encounter all the EU's standards on contamination by powder and dioxide and sulfur. Yet, the new block will not be adjusted in any carbon sequestration seize technique so it will fit in a design of China-backed projects how will add to carbon sequestration dioxide levels in the ambience. Christine Shearer is an analysis in the team Coal Swarm, that tracks charcoal developments, and she is caustic on the implications. These projects are not compliant in restrictive world heating 2 or 2C, she told, relating to the 2 targets of the Paris Treaty on Environment changing. She says how China finance institutions are fill a gap leftward by West banks and agencies decisive to range their participation in charcoal. These projects, if finished, will castle the countries in top carbon sequestration emitting infrastructure facilities and flying charcoal imports exactly at a period while prices for pure power are start to drop under how of charcoal force. We tested to pin the exportable import banking of China, that is provided the lending, and the China Mechanism Mechanical Engineering Corporate, that is guideline the building, but did not listen behind. For the Serb Force Business, EPS, the gravity of a regional delivery of charcoal has combination in a inexpensive China lending and the prospects of precious supply of power. On 3,500 jobs rely on the Kostolok facility, but several regional human beings include be more candid on the contamination in the region. Momir Savic showed me how the conveyor belts transport charcoal run shut to the villages, and he fears a future extension of the transactions. This quality assurance of our air and water supply is really impoverished. We cannot increase harvest and vegetable culture. Down there is as well a lot of sound. All the affects the public health of human beings residing there, lot of whom include breath diseases, he told. EPS says it is conducting hundreds of millions of euros on ecological protect, but its path recording obviously does not instill confidence. Para Markovic, a attorney in CEKR, an ecological team, is crucial of the businesses fail to range contamination in the regional region. But he concedes how Serbia is hard dependent on charcoal for its force. For how length? Many decades, Mr. Markovic says. How's potential to be the identical in some countries too much, everything environment scientists say is necessary.